Hi guys and welcome to thrustzone.com. This is Mohit Soni. What is in front of you is the Maruti Brezza for the year 2023. We've already done a video walk around of this car from the launch, and we've explained the interiors and the features and the exteriors and design aspect and everything, but we're still going to explain you a brief about the same and then quickly jump into the driving part, because we've been driving the Brezza for a couple of weeks, and let's see what the Brezza is like and what's our take on it. As always, let's begin with the exterior. Really digging in the boxy design that Maruti has to offer with this SUV. This is clearly one of the most boxiest SUVs in this class, and of course there is the venue, but this doesn't end up matching the size, the height or the length of the venue. But at the same time, it is also trumping the Nexon when it comes to road presence, because this car definitely feels longer than a sub 4 meter car because of the elongated wheelbase, but it's not, it's a sub 4 meter car. The LED DRLs here look fantastic. There's been a lot of dramatic change to the design, as you can see here, and you've got those fog lamps below. LED DRLs with LED projector lamps offer good illumination and spread in the night. And as you can see on the side, I'm not a fan of the alloy wheels, but I'm really liking the green color with the white roof, the roof rails, the extra cladding that is on offer. The cladding size is also, as you can see, a lot bigger, and again, it's the side profile that looks like a premium car indeed. Brezza has always been about Maruti doing their absolute best. This time they've gone ahead with the design even better, even further. And just look at those tail lamps. They look like they've come from a Range Rover, and we all know that it is inspired to a very large extent, if not entirely. And the huge Brezza badging, the smart hybrid badging. And since we're at the back, let me first show you the camera. It doesn't have a housing here. It almost feels like it's naked. Usually there's a plastic piece on this. It's not there. And that's the boot. Just about okay, around 300 liters, not that big. You've got a space saver tire below, and you can see the amount of stuff that is kept here. It's got lighting, it's got a hook here, so just about okay in terms of space. Could have been better. Surprisingly, the build quality also feels very different on the Brezza. And as you can see now, since we are at the back, we'll also check out the rear space. You've got charging points over there with AC vents, and at the back, behind my 511 driving position, good knee room, very good foot room. Headroom is also good enough. You've got this hook here, AC is here, and you've got the pockets. Door pads are also very big, and you've got adjustable headrests for both passengers, but not the middle one. And the middle passenger also gets a lap belt, not a 3-pointed belt. The armrest feels pretty nice. The cup holders here also feel good, and lending a good amount of light at the back, and definitely more in the front is the sunroof, which I'll show you from the front as well. And the glass area definitely is substantially bigger than before, which was already quite good. And again, I like the new fabric for the seats, the contrast colors that have been chosen for it. Look at this seat belt hook here, nicely done. It's not usually, it's usually here, not here. I think this is a better position. And yeah, Maruti is getting those small things right. Look at this. This feels a little budget, but it doesn't feel outright cheap, so that's also a nice addition. And you've got keyless entry and go, push button start, an HUD 360-degree camera, brightness, and that's of course for the headlamps, adjustability. The instrument cluster is not digital yet on the Brezza, but nevertheless this is a good one, and it's been doing the job really well. You can see the trip meters here, the idle stops time, the play meters that are on offer, and how the mild hybrid system is working, and so forth. You're familiar with the screen in the past. It is the same that I've explained earlier as well. It's a very good screen. The size could have been bigger. The bezels on the side are much bigger inside as well, and on the outside, so it gives you a look of a bigger screen, but it's not. It's around the 9-inch mark, and it is good. Of course, I also like it, and it's just that it's showing the aspect of that it's a 12-inch or something like that, but at the end of the day it is a 9-inch unit. And you can see you can choose from a lot of settings here, and you've got music, voice controls, everything works really well. As you can see, we've explained this to you in the XL6, in the Baleno, and in the Brezza it also is the same, which we explained you in the interior launch video. The sound system by Arcamus is actually good. It's a much bigger step than before, but then the Swift, which already had a very good sound system in the past, I think it trumps that as well, and I think that's the reason why I've mentioned that here. And that is the glove box. Of course it is illuminated but not chilled, decent sized as well. Just look at this plastic. This is a welcome move from Maruti here. This feels very nice. I've never said that about a Maruti before. The plastic just feels just right. The aluminum finish here feels good, and you can see it running all the way from here to here. Even the upper plastics don't feel bad anymore. Even if you end up resting your hand like this, you're not going to feel I'm in a Maruti anymore. So Maruti's made a lot of changes to the cabin. The AC controls are as simple and as beautifully laid out as they can be in a Maruti, and they've taken a step ahead and they made sure that they follow that criteria, and it's a job well done. Cup holders here. You've got an adjustable armrest, slightly thin, but if it fits my size then it will fit anybody else as well. That's the kind of storage you have here. Let me just focus. Yeah. And you've got a wireless charger, which in any car is basically of no use, because it heats up your phone, the charges extremely slowly, and it doesn't make sense. So stop asking manufacturers to put that on, and I'm sure they can either upgrade the unit substantially or they don't put it here as well. It doesn't make any sense. The phone gets very hot, and that is not a very good thing when it comes to safety. You've got a hazard button here. The AC works well in our conditions. It's super hot right now, and yeah, you've got those controls here. Surprisingly, they still don't make it here, but with the new design for the steering wheel, it finally starts to make sense. Usually all the buttons are here, and Maruti has been doing this in the past as well, but now it feels at home. The steering wheel is also quite big in size, and yeah, the usual stocks are here, and the usual stocks for the instrument cluster on both sides are also here. IRVM is automatic, and that is the magic from Maruti. Now their first car with the sunroof. Of course there are many other cars now, and a welcome move indeed. Feature list is feature packed. Of course this is a manual version. The automatic version gets more features, and this is not the top end variant per se, and yeah, pretty good cabin. I'm impressed with the quality, with the design on the inside and outside. Maruti has now finally made the car look like a budget and very good car instead of a cheap car. So I think they've gone a long way to change that aspect, and they've delivered on it quite well. Right from the sound system to infotainment system to the instrument cluster to the steering, you've got cruise control as well. I explained those features over there. So that is a big move here, and it is in the right direction, because Maruti is now offering a lot of features with their car, and at the same time there is good pricing, good quality, good design on the outside. So everything is coming together really well. The driving aspect, I think I have just one criticism. Apart from that, they're all good. What are those? Let's find out. So what is the Maruti Suzuki Brezza 1.5 liter petrol motor with a manual gearbox like to drive? Well, let me say that the car is very easy to drive. The clutch is light, the gearbox is smooth, the gating is just about right, and the steering is light. The return could have been much more smoother, despite it is much better than before, but there is still some room to do so. Driving the car in the city is no problem whatsoever. Body roll is well in check. On the highway the stability is good, and even at 120-130 kilometers an hour, and even at 140 on the de-restricted segments, when you're trying to catch up on the lost pace, which you were probably stuck in traffic like I was, the stability is also quite good. Surprisingly, finally the brakes feel very, 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 very good. On our test car the brakes were just about right, and the pedal bite was also really impressive, and the brake boosters and the brakes and everything just worked so well that we had to notice this aspect when we compared our notes to the previous version. And this is again a very big move. Brakes have become much better, at least in my driving style. The brakes have become substantially better than before. I don't think I had spent some time with the Brezza in 2017 or 2018 and with the diesel version, and those brakes were not up to the mark, but this one is absolutely is, and kudos to Maruti for getting it right. The ride quality is good. The suspension tuning is also actually quite brilliant. The spring rate of course is good. The dampers also could have been more stiffer, but the low to medium ride quality is good. The highway stability is good, but what I don't like, when you change lanes, the body roll is quite a lot, and it could have been countered with a much better suspension. Basically more travel to the suspension would have been ideal. I think the travel is on the lower side. The travel would have made more sense and would have given the car much more confidence, is what I feel. And because there is a good amount of body roll, and even at lower speeds, when you're in lower gear, when you turn the steering for a very, very sharp corner, you feel that the body roll is there, and it's just about controllable. So driving this Brezza is going to be if you're trying to reach the very limit, I would suggest that you either upgrade the tires or have a look at the suspension in a case where if you drive hard and fast all the time, because if you're driving it in the city and on the highway sedately, then this car is absolutely brilliant. It is much better than the Hyundai Venue, that's for sure, and which we drove recently as well. The video is live, of course. And I guess the suspension travel could have been better. Apart from that, we're really impressed with the brakes. The steering is good. The return could have been smoother. And now let's talk about the engine. Surprisingly, we were so impressed with the handling part that we're talking about it first. The engine, of course, is smooth. It's refined. It's gotten better. At idle, you can't hear it. At slow speeds, you can't hear it. It's only at redline when the engine truly shouts, and that too also is well in check. Because of the BS6 phase 2, there has been a major improvement in refinement and fuel economy, and our car has been returning us almost 13-14 kilometers to the liter, which is very, very impressive for a petrol car. And I think Maruti is just getting their fuel economy game right over the last 50 years. So I don't see anybody doing that so consistently over almost 4 to 5 decades. Is just brilliant, and Maruti continues to be known in that aspect when it comes to fuel efficiency. So good job by Maruti Suzuki on that aspect. And then they have the Grand Vitara, which delivers twice the fuel efficiency, which is on another level. Of course, we'll have to test that as well. And right now we're impressed with the refinement, we're impressed with the fuel efficiency. The drivability is also quite good. What is missing on the engine part is, of course, the character from the 1.5 and even the 1.2, like we said earlier, is just long gone. It doesn't feel like a peppy Maruti engine anymore. It just feels like a workhorse to a very large extent. It is good fun, but again, it's hauling a lot of weight and a lot of car, and that's the reason why it doesn't feel very sprightly. We need a 1.5 with a higher tune, or we need a 1.5 in the smaller cars to make those cars even more fun to drive. I think the booster jet is back, so that will play the role again, but we wish the 1.5 gets and the 1.2 gets more power, because they truly deserve that. A nice naturally aspirated engine, it exists despite all these emission norms, is good to see. Now we need to see them giving us more fun. And that's what the Brezza is. We are impressed with the driving experience. It doesn't have the character from the engine that we expect, which is long gone, of course, and that is something enthusiasts will be, like me, will be disappointed. But most of the time, the refinement, the fuel efficiency, the drivability is so good that you won't be really missing it if you are commuting on a daily basis and you don't look forward to something like this. And then that's completely fine. What is also a sort of sore point is that the Maruti Brezza pricing has gone dramatically up. It almost costs 17 to 18 lakh rupees in certain cities, and that is a lot of money for a sub 4 meter SUV. But then again, it is also offering you a lot. It has a good sound system, infotainment system. A feature list is quite good. It's got more space, it's got more road presence, it's got more fuel efficiency, more refinement. So I guess the prices will go up, but I'm sure Maruti can make sure that the prices come in line as soon as possible when the supply chain issues are sorted. I think that's the reason why the prices have also gone up. And that's it. That's what the Brezza is all about. That's our take on the Brezza. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you follow us on our website and social media for everyday updates. Subscribe, like, and thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.